What's up, Jimmy Lea?
Staying live, brother. Staying live. How are you, Braxton?
I'm good. So one thing I've noticed?
What's that?
So the previous Jimmy Lea that I knew wore sparkly suit coats with glitter on them. And the Jimmy Lea that now is a certified speaker wears nice suit coats. Just pointing that out.
Just pointing that out. Well, yeah, I guess we're not on a stage today. The sparkly jackets are definitely for the stage and the conference and the trade shows. When you're lounging around at home, you want to have a nice, good jacket.
Yeah, and you did just say too, when I am presenting, I'm standing, and you were
Yes.
like, "Are we going to stand or sit?" Because that's a different conversation. It made more relaxed. So I guess this is your sitting
This is my
jacket.
sitting jacket.
Yeah, and your standing jacket is the glittery one that you loaned to Jeff Compton.
Yes, Jeff Compton stole my jacket. It is in Canada right now.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to mail that to you?
Yeah, he was supposed to bring it to SEMA Apex. He totally forgot. But
Oh man.
hopefully he remembers to bring it to ASTA in North Carolina.
Are you going to Tools?
I am going to, is he going to Tools?
He's going to be at Tools.
Well, we need to make sure he brings it
So
because
yeah,
we'll
I
do
need
a
to text him and tell him, "Hey, Jimmy needs his standing, presenting, glittery jacket. Can you give it to him?"
yeah. Bring it to Tools. Bring it to Pennsylvania. Yeah, because I'm going to get him a jacket just like it. That's not going to look like a fat man in a tiny coat. He needs a 2X or a 3X. He's a big boy. I mean, he's not very tall, but he's stout.
He's strong. He's strong, dude. He's
yeah.
built. He's built to work on cars. You and I are built to talk to a camera.
Right.
There's a difference.
Yeah, we've got the beauty.
Back in the day before the lifts were really good, you know, you just had brute force to get a car onto a lift, and that was Jeff. So.
Oh, I'm sure he carries a transmission under one arm. He's not trying to heft it with two hands like you and I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. What I would do is I would just call Jeff and have him come help me because I would not even try myself. But Jeff can handle it. Jeff is Jeff Compton. He can handle the transmission on his own.
Oh, right. And he'd hold it up with his left hand while he was wrenching with his right hand.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Just to show off.
Yeah.
Well, or do a podcast while doing that. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, my guest is obviously Jimmy Lea from the Institute, and I think this is your first time on Automotive Repair News Today. Am I wrong on that?
That is correct. This is our first interview with the Automotive Repair News. I'm a longtime listener, first time caller.
Yeah. Well, you finally did something newsworthy, Jimmy.
Finally, that's what it takes. If that's what it takes.
I mean, yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy the platform, and I was a little bit. I don't know how much I like the new platform of the discussion, the conversation. I like the news being read.
Oh, so you like the old way?
I do like the old way.
You're the first person that said that.
I know, but I'm also an NPR fan. I've been an NPR fan for 25 years.
Yeah.
So it was very comfortable. It was a comfy spot for me.
Maybe once a month I'll do a NPR style just for Jimmy.
Jimmy, this is your version today.
Yeah, because everybody else I like it. It's easier for me and it sounds more natural and just flows better with me. But everybody else has said they like the relaxed conversational style too. But I guess there's always one oddball out there.
There's always one. And if I'm that oddball, I just hope I'm your favorite oddball.
You are, because you're the only, but you are my favorite. Yeah. So hey, if you email Jimmy Lea, beside his, I saw this when I checked your email this morning. You've already changed it, but if you email Jimmy Lea, it's CSP now because he is a certified speaking professional.
Yes, big time.
And you told me about this maybe 6 months ago, and I have never looked into being a CSP myself. Don't know if that's a big boost for a podcaster. Maybe it is. But how long does it take to get certified, and what kind of classes and training and certification prep do you have to go through? Because I am pretty ignorant when it comes to CSPs. I've always just saw the comma CSP and was like, oh, that guy's legit, but didn't know what kind of work it took to get there.
Yeah, well, and that's like when people see that you're an Eagle Scout or they see that you're a Marine. They don't know exactly what goes into it, but they know
Right.
that that means you've done some stuff to get
Yeah.
some recognition in
Yeah.
those
The
areas.
one thing I do know is when it's comma PA or, doctor or something, I'm like, that was a lot of work. And the folks who I know who have gone through those programs, um,
They earned it.
I'm not willing to do that for what
No,
they've
that's
done
right.
to their bodies and their financial situation. But anyway,
Yeah.
CSP. What in the world do you have to do to get that?
So let's start it by telling you that last year I failed. I did not pass
Really?
my CSP last year. Yeah. So I applied a year ago and did not pass. So 6 months ago, when I told you that I had reapplied again for my CSP, this was a reapplication. This
Hmm.
was me going for it again. So the full effect of this that they take into consideration for those going to apply for their CSP is the last 10 years. So in the last 10 years, you would have to have given 250 speeches,
Wow.
250 presentations. I my list was 425 for the last 10 years. So pretty legit, pretty good, not bad. I have a friend up in northern Utah, Christoph Merrill, turning in his CSP this year. And he failed at the same level that I did last year, which was his video. His list of 250 was 1,800 presentations in the last 10 years.
Explain that to me again. I'm confused. So
1,800
you have to have
presentations.
250 speaking performances,
Yes.
and
So
you
I
had how
started,
many?
I had 425 in the last 10 years. So what, 40, 50 per year?
So you didn't fail because you didn't meet the minimum requirement. You
No,
failed for some other reason,
right? Because there's four different phases that you have to go through to get your CSP.
and that's like phase one.
Phase one is your 250. So
Yeah.
both he and I passed our 250, no problem. Phase two is to have at least 20 people that would verify and bona fide and support you as
Okay.
a public speaker. That they would say, yes, this person is good. We would rehire them. We would absolutely have them back to present to us again. So both he and I passed on that one this
Okay.
year. Phase three is your video. So you either turn in two 20-minute videos or one 40-minute video. And in that 40-minute video, you are reviewed by other certified speaking professionals. They're looking at you to see, are you of the caliber, are you of the quality that says you are putting forward your best foot?
Right.
So the first year mine failed because I had a live recording. It was my cell phone set up in the corner of the room. I had audio on me, but the audience did not.
Uh,
So anytime somebody was asking a question, I looked like a deer in the headlights, but I wasn't saying anything, and you couldn't hear the audience. You couldn't hear the question. They were
mm.
too far away.
So
And it
so it came
wasn't
down to
well.
a audio concern.
Oh, it's more than that. Audio and video. So the lighting wasn't very good. It was in a breakout room. So the lighting, it wasn't a stage. It was a breakout room.
Right.
Couldn't see me very well. Couldn't see the slides very well. It looked like the audience that was in the frame. It wasn't very many people there, even though there were more. So you didn't get any audience view. So I talked to a couple other CSPs and they said, hey, you know what you should really do is turn in a virtual event.
Mm.
In a virtual event, I'm well lit, I'm well microphoned, I have a narrator, I have engagement. You can see the entire registration of everybody that's registered. The engagement comes through the chat. Those chats go back and forth. And so you can see that high
Right.
level of energy, engagement, influence that you're having and engaging with the audience. So that's what I did this year is I turned in my presentation as a 40-minute video with my online presentation.
And
Thank you
what
to COVID, the Zoom presentation has finally got its day in the sunlight, and you're allowed to turn in virtual events as well as part of your
what's
250.
the fourth level you have to pass?
The fourth level. So after you get your video approved, it goes in front of the board, and the
So you
board.
never got to level 4 the year before.
The year before, I did not know. I failed
Okay.
at level 3.
Okay.
Same as my buddy
I wonder
Christoph,
how
who had
common that is.
18. That is the most common level that people fail at, is at the
Because I feel
video
like
level.
that's unfortunate
It is.
because the video quality and the audio quality may say something about the AV guy in the back, but it doesn't really say anything about you as a certified speaking professional,
Yeah,
you
yeah, and I
know?
agree with you. And that was my feedback as well. As I said, somebody told me I could set up a camera on a tripod in the back of the room because it was about me as a presenter, not about me as a videographer.
Yeah, right. That's yeah.
So to hire a videographer, you're anywhere from $2,000, $4,000, $6,000 to get somebody to come in and video your presentation, do all the editing, put in the B-roll,
Right.
synchronize the sound. Well, that's another thing too. On the sound or on the video, it had to be a full streamline of the entire video. So your audio had to be 100% the whole time. If you did switch to a B-roll to get the audience reaction to a question or a comment or concern or raising hands or any engagement, that audio had to be consistent throughout. So you couldn't snip things, except for if you were doing a training session and you say, all right, for the next 5 minutes, we're all going to journal about doing XYZ. In your video presentation, you would just throw up a slide that says breakout, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
personal time. All right, now we're back from 5 minutes. And you would have to introduce that again.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
stage.
that's just kind of crazy to me. But anyway.
Yeah, it is. And this is a very prestigious award for you to have this recognition. In the world, there's, according to ChatGPT and Google, if you Google it, there's between 40 and 50,000 professional speakers globally. In the United States, there's about 18,000 professional speakers in the United States that identify themselves as professional speakers. So of those 18,000 in the United States, by the way, the CSP is recognized internationally. So anybody that wants to qualify from France or Belgium, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Switzerland, China, Japan, wherever, they still have to make or match those same qualifications that I had to match as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in and they do that. And so in of those 18,000 in the United States, there's only 570 current active CSP recipients.
570
570.
in the
This last
States.
class only had 33.
Yeah, I saw the email you sent me, and there weren't a lot of names on there, but
No, yeah.
570 active.
570 active. And
Wow.
there's somewhere in the range of 800, maybe 900 that have received the award.
Who in the industry, for folks that are listening who may go to events that hear speakers, who are some of the ones that are certified right now?
Oh, let's see. If you go see Mary Kelly, she's a CSP. Meredith Powell, she's the current president. Dan Clark is a CSP. Ross Bernstein is a CSP. Jeff Savilico is a CSP. Marilyn Sherman is a CSP. Ed Tate, Darren LaCroix,
So a decent
Spencer.
amount of the 500 and some are in the automotive space.
Now, in the automotive space, that's interesting. There aren't necessarily, you would almost say that I'm the first that
Oh,
is specifically in the automotive aftermarket. Now,
yeah,
if we
that's what
say
I was asking. How many in the
automotive,
automotive industry were CSP? So you're the first.
yeah, I'm the first in the automotive aftermarket for sure. If you say
Wow.
automotive, now when you say automotive, you got to take in, manufacturing
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. But the aftermarket, yeah, yeah.
just in the aftermarket. I'm fairly certain that I would be the first.
Wow. How does that feel?
that's kind of humbling and interesting, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah. To be the
cool.
first to do something is always pretty cool, especially in an industry as large as the aftermarket. I mean, that's and there's a lot of good speakers.
Yeah.
A lot of good
Yeah.
speakers. Just
There's a
none
lot of,
CSP
and
now. So
I
Jimmy
think
Lee
if
is
we
the
were
only
to
one.
really sit down and analyze the coaches and the trainers and those that are working in the industry, I'll bet there's a lot that could qualify.
Yeah.
They just have never joined the National Speakers Association. It's not on their radar. It's not something that they're interested in doing. They're running their business. They're doing their coaching, their training.
Right.
I think of like a Andrew Fisher. He's new in the training industry. I think of Gary Smith, uh, and the training that they do traveling all over the country. Seth Thornton, he owns shops and he travels and teaches about EV. So probably these guys could probably qualify, but they haven't taken the steps to do it.
What's the
And
incentive to qualify or to try?
so there is the recognition, there is the status of it. It does elevate you to say, of all the speakers in the world, here's somebody who has done the work and put in the time, effort, and energy to learn more about public speaking, more about being an influencing speaker, inspirational speaker, an educational speaker. So there's all realm of speakers that can qualify, from collegiate in colleges and universities to
Yep.
clerical worship services. Some
Okay.
of these vicars, pastors, preachers, they're preaching 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Hmm.
So they have that track record. They have those chops that they can stand up in front of an audience and tell the story of whatever it is that they're telling, whether it's to inspire or inform or
Do industry events like Tools coming up or ASTA, Apex, whatever? Do those board members who select the speakers, do they know? I'm guessing they do, but if they see CSP beside someone's name or yours, how much of a wow factor do you think that provides to have beside your name for somebody that sees that?
I think there's a lot of wow factor. It says that this is somebody who's professional. They've been doing this for a long time. I have confidence in hiring this person that they're not going to disappoint me. They're not going to let
Right.
me down. I will, a director or an event planner will not walk away from our event embarrassed because they hired a less than speaker. The CSP designation says this is top quality.
So you're setting the tone here. I mean, other people in the industry are going to recognize, hey, if I want to keep my name at the top of somebody's mind, I got to get that CSP beside my name.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. And anybody who wants to do it, I am absolutely happy to help you through the program, through the system.
what was the fourth step again?
Fourth step is going in front of the board.
Okay.
And it's not that I go in front of the board, it's that my whole packet goes in front of the board, and the board gives you the gladiator thumbs up or thumbs down. Usually you don't fail at phase 4. When you've
Yeah, if
gotten
you
to
get to
phase
phase 4,
4,
you're pretty solid.
you're
Yeah.
pretty solid to get through. But the whole packet you create, it's like building a ship and pushing it into the water. It has to float. It has to go. So you build all this packet, this information, you submit it September 1st, and you have until January 10th. So there's only one time a year that you can actually apply. It's not a it's not a rotating door.
Okay.
September 1st, you can submit your packet up to January 10th. If there are any questions, comments, concerns with your packet, they might come back to you. But if it's after January 10th, it's just an automatic fail.
Hmm.
A friend of mine, Michelle McCullough, she failed it 2 or 3 times. I'm going to say 2. The first year she submitted, her spreadsheet was backwards, meaning her oldest presentation was at the top,
Oh
and
no.
they specify it to say, we want your newest one at the top to your oldest at the bottom. So it was just an automatic, sorry, you failed at phase 1
Wow. I mean,
because
they're
it was
kind of
backwards.
picky about some of this stuff.
It's a prestigious thing. If you can't follow instructions, why
Right?
would we
Yeah,
give you
that
the
makes sense.
designation of a certified speaking professional if you can't follow instructions?
When was the first time you thought about trying to get this done?
So I've been to these conferences and trade shows for the last 15 years, and I'm like, I've never climbed Mount Everest. I didn't recover from paralysis. I didn't lose my eyesight. I haven't had these major life events, which it seems like a lot of these speakers are these major life events. I
Right.
haven't written a book. I'm a
Filed
guy.
for
I'm a normal
bankruptcy.
Joe. And so it was probably 3 years ago when I was at a conference, and there was some good friends there that are part of the National Speaking Association, that they are certified speaking professionals. And I was like, "Hey, how did you guys do this? What did you do? How did you get into this realm of doing what you're doing?" And they're like, "Well, okay, here's your litmus test. If you can do these things, we'll tell you more." One was join the NSA, one was look at a chapter in Vegas or the chapter in Utah. So I joined the chapter in Vegas, I joined the chapter in Utah, and I joined the National Speaking Association, which is like in the automotive industry, we have associations. So
Right.
it's only worth what you put into it or what you do with it. Well, every month they have a chapter meeting. So I'm either driving 2 hours to Vegas for a meeting on a Saturday morning, 2 hours back, or I'm traveling 4 hours north to Utah into Salt Lake for a 4 hour meeting and then traveling 4 hours back home.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that litmus test passed. Let's take it to the next level. Now what? And so within the association, just like within the automotive industry, you've got peer to peer that's talking about this is what I did when I was starting. This is the marketing you need to do, your website, your one sheets, your speaker reels, your sizzle reels. This is the information you need to have as a base to get you out into that next level or that next industry that you want to look at speaking with. So
Wow.
the association has been very good for those who are already speakers. For those
Right.
that are trying to look at and discover how can I improve my communication? How can I improve my presentation? How can I improve what I'm doing? That's something that you want to go to Toastmasters with. Toastmasters gives you ample opportunity to get up in front of an audience and speak.
Yeah, somebody told me about Toastmasters a couple of months ago, and I thought it didn't exist anymore.
Oh, no, it's still strong.
But no, yeah, they were like, yeah, Toastmasters is awesome, and they still do great stuff. And I was like, oh man, I forgot about Toastmasters.
Yep, yep. In fact, I found my grandfather had joined a Toastmasters in Northern California, and he got an award with Toastmasters.
Wow.
So, I'm a member of the Toastmasters here in St. George, as well as the automotive one
Right.
with
Well,
Craig.
when's are you speaking at Tools?
I am speaking at Tools. Yes, I've got two breakout sessions, two workshops, and then I'm going to co present with my wife on Sunday. We're doing a communications, a
Oh, cool.
bird
Okay.
personality, so that you can understand who you are, why you think the way you think, and then also identify others and their forms of thinking and speaking and whatnot. So
So
this is
you have not presented since being certified.
I have
You have you have w- when?
when a couple weeks ago in
So you
Seattle,
okay? I thought this certification was like recent in the last week, but
March
no,
14th.
it was when?
March 14th was the
Man,
day I
you
got the
missed
phone
it.
call. That,
Ah,
hey, that's well.
I
Let
was
me
gonna
share.
tell people, if you're going to Tools, you got to make sure you get to Jimmy's class because it's like his first as a CSP. But oh well, lost its luster now.
Oh no, it hasn't lost its luster.
Yeah, but
So
it's not the first. I mean, they can
this
still
is
go, of course,
this
to
is
see the first CSP in the aftermarket, but it's not
there's
the
the
first time
certificate.
you've presented. That's a shame, man. March 15th. Wow, that was a while ago.
March 14, March 14th. So the
14.
reason they choose the 14th is some nerd somewhere, which we love our nerds, we love our geeks. somewhere decided that Cavett, back in the day, Cavett is the gentleman who established the National Speakers Association. He says there's plenty of pie out there. There's plenty of pie for all of us to participate in the speaking industry. And so he chose Pi Day
Oh,
3.14. So March 14th, that's National Speakers Day.
gotcha. Gotcha. Were you expecting the call then, I guess, or?
No, I wasn't. I was, so they send an email and then there's a phone call that comes. So we were in the Redwood Forest in Northern California, little to no cell phone reception. But I kept checking it hourly, thinking, "Oh man, it's got to be coming soon. It's got to be coming soon." Because on Pi Day, I mean, last year when I got the notice that I had not passed, it was on March 13.
Ah,
So here it is, March 14, and I'm like, "Oh, come
you were
on, it's
feeling
got."
pretty good at this point, knowing that, the year before you already knew at this point you didn't make it. So you felt probably pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and I got a lot of input from others, and that's really where we help elevate the entire industry, as automotive industry, also as speaker industry, where I was going to others and saying, "Here's my video I'm going to turn in for my CSP. Will you check it out and just give me some feedback? What are some things I need to tweak?" And there were things I got from Christoph. There were things I got from Spencer. There were things I got from Tony. There were things I got from Meredith. That was just those little bit of things to tweak on it that just made it all that much better.
Well, I have been to a couple, maybe 3 events that you have been at, and I don't think I have had the blessing of being in the room when you spoke. So, I think the next industry event I'll be at where you will be is ASTA.
Nice.
So I'm gonna definitely make sure to check out the Jimmy Lea, CSP uh, room,
Please
and I
do.
encourage others
Please
to do
do.
that. Tools. Where else are you going to be over the summer?
Let's see. We'll be in Phoenix, Arizona
Okay.
at SWAP, the Sunrise Tech Expo. July, I'll be in Phoenix for the National Speakers Association. August, I think we get August off. Hallelujah. There's no trade shows in August, not very many, anyways. September, there's always a lot happening in
Yeah.
September.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
late September is ASTA. So
Late September, ASTA, into October. Let's see, we'll be at Apex SEMA. I'm not speaking this year
well,
at
that's November.
Apex.
That's November.
That's November. That's correct.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know there's a bunch of events that are
Yeah.
happening.
Well, that's good. That's good. Uh, Folks can get out there and hear the very first certified speaking professional in the automotive aftermarket, Jimmy Lea. Congratulations, man. That's I mean, that's really for real. That's really a great accomplishment. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Yep.
it, brother.
All right, dude. Anything else? Like anything to touch on real quick about the Institute? What's coming up?
Let me pull up our calendar here real quick. Our events. We do have. Let's see. Tool.
I know. There's a summit at Lucas's shop.
That's in October.
Yep, we'll be excited about that. That's in October.
Yep. Let's see. We've got a plethora of webinars coming this way, especially the end of May. Tools at the end of May. Swap in June. June 21st, we'll also be in Chicago with the Shopmonkey Shop Experts Series. June 21st, this is where Shopmonkey is bringing experts in the industry together so that shop owners who might not be able to travel to Vegas or Utah or Florida,
Right.
we're going to bring it to Chicago. So we're bringing it to your home. You
Great.
can travel, you can be there at this event. We have mergers and acquisitions happening in July, and that is going to be in Utah, in Ogden at headquarters. July we have leadership intensive in Chicago. So the leadership intensive that we're doing with Lucas, that he has just raved about for the last year, we're also going to do one in July. So if you can't make it to Blowing Rock, North Carolina, which is, by the way, absolutely gorgeous, especially in
Beautiful.
October,
Yeah, that time of year too would be awesome.
Chicago would be gorgeous in July, late
Yeah.
July as well. We do have an advisor training workshop coming up in August. That will be at headquarters in Ogden. And then a 3-day intensive service advisor training in August 7, 8, 9 in Ogden. Last one that I'll mention here real quick is the Mars Intensive, Marketing for the Automotive Repair Shop. That is September 4, 5, 6 in Ogden at headquarters. This is limited seating, only 40 tickets going to be sold. Limited vendors, not a whole ton of people trying to sell you their wares. This is a high, intense marketing meeting. And so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Great. Well, thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it, man. We'll see you very soon. Hopefully folks will come out and check you out. Certified speaking professional at Tools in a few weeks.
Love it. Thank you, brother.
See you, dude. Hey, if you're still here, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Automotive Repair News today. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment, like, share, subscribe to the podcast. It'll help us out a big deal and help grow the show. And you know what? While you're at it, slap on a review too if you feel like this content is helpful for the industry. Don't forget to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Stay connected and be the first to know about new episodes, behind-the-scene content, and more. And until next time, let's make the industry better together.